Okay, so picture this. You're knee deep in a project, deadlines, they're like right around the corner, and then bam, it hits you. Nobody, and I mean nobody, seems to be on the same page.
Oh, tell me about it. That classic project communication breakdown happens all the time, unfortunately.
Right. And it's crazy how fast things go off the rails when that happens. So that's why, I'm really excited to dive into this guide you brought, PR02 Manage Communications.
Right.
It seems like it's full of ways to keep everyone in line.
Yeah, totally. What I like about it, though, it's really all about the strategy. You see, it's not just, hey, here's some tips, go communicate better.
Yeah.
It digs into the why we communicate effectively and how it, directly affects if a project is a success or not.
Okay, I'm into that. Because just throwing information out there and hoping it sticks, that doesn't really fly, does it?
Nope, not at all.
So where does it say to even begin?
Well, it all starts with you know your audience, or as this guide calls them, stakeholders. And it's really big on the fact that it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
Right, right. We're not just blasting out mass emails anymore, are we? So break it down. Who are these stakeholders exactly, and why is it so important to actually get them?
Stakeholders, they're basically anyone who's got skin in the game.
Hmm.
Invested in the project's outcome. Obviously, your clients are up there, but then you've got your team members, the higher-ups, even the regulatory folks.
Oh, right, them too.
Yeah. And the thing is, each group, they've got different needs, different levels of how much they're actually involved.
Hmm.
And how they prefer to, get information is different too.
You know what? This reminds me of this one project I was on a while back. We had to brief this executive, always on the go, super busy guy. And we kept sending him these crazy detailed status reports, 10 pages, the whole thing.
Oh, I can already see where this is going.
Yeah, it took us forever to realize this guy, he just needed the big picture, the main takeaways presented in a way that, respected his time. Bet that stakeholder analysis matrix thing they talk about in here, that would have been a lifesaver.
Oh, 100%. That matrix, it's like gold for this kind of stuff. Imagine just a simple chart. You list your stakeholders, how much influence they've got, what parts of the project they're actually interested in, and how they prefer to, get updates, email, meetings, whatever.
So instead of everyone getting blasted with the same info, it's more targeted, strategic, right?
Exactly. It's about being mindful of people's time and making sure they're getting what they need in a way that actually works for them. This guide even gets into, specific methods and communication channels we should be using, which is smart.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that because honestly, my go-to is usually just email. Is that a bad thing according to this guide? So email's public enemy number one now.
Yeah.
Because I gotta say, I love me some email.
Well, it's not banished or anything. It's more use the right tool.
Yeah.
Email, it's good for the official stuff, updates, meeting notes, all that jazz.
Right, right.
But this guide, it's all about using the method that actually fits both the message and who you're talking to. Makes a big difference.
Okay, so I probably shouldn't be sending a 15-slide presentation on, I don't know, budget overruns in an email thread.
Probably not the best move.
Nor even a quick question. Better to just shoot a message, not clog everyone's inbox.
Now you're getting it. For those quick things, chat's the way to go. Slack, Teams, you name it. Keeps things moving, less formal.
Way less formal.
Exactly. But then what about the complicated stuff? Project timelines, a ton of data. I've definitely been guilty of sending those massive walls of text.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants to read those.
No.
That's when this guide would say visuals are key. Think dashboards, a nice chart, maybe even an infographic. Something that makes all that data easy to get.
Oh, that's smart. It's like they say, show, don't tell, but, for projects.
Exactly. And speaking of being strategic, this guide, it hits on another communication trap. How often you're doing it?
Ugh, don't even get me started. I've been on those projects. It's either radio silence for weeks or you're drowning in updates.
The struggle is real, right? Too much info, people just tune out. Too little, and they're clueless. This guide's all about finding that sweet spot, the right pace for each stakeholder group.
So how do you figure that out? Is there some, secret formula?
No secret formula. Just got to understand what your stakeholders need. That executive who wants the big picture, maybe a monthly high-level report's enough. Your dev team, though, they're in the weeds. Might need those daily check-ins.
So it's about balance, keeping everyone in the loop, but not, overwhelming them with info.
Exactly. It's not just about what you say or how you say it.
It's when you say it, too.
You got it. And here's the kicker. Even if you nail all of that, when there's still one more thing.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What's the missing piece?
Feedback. Because communication's a two-way street.
Oh, for sure. Can't just throw information out there and hope for the best.
Right. You need to know, did they get it? Did it make sense? This guide, it's big on active listening, making sure those feedback loops are built in.
So how do you do that without, making people feel like they're being tested all the time?
It's about building a culture of openness. After a presentation, don't just bolt. Ask if there are questions, follow up with a summary, even a quick poll after you send something out, just to gauge if everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, it's like when you call IT and they're like, okay, now click on, and you're like, hold on, I'm still trying to find the start button.
Exactly. And that's what this guide's getting at. You got to make sure information's flowing back and forth, not just one way.
This whole feedback loop thing seems like it's key for catching those misunderstandings early before they become a huge problem.
100%. This guide, it really drives that home. Two-way communication, it builds trust, it helps everyone work together, and in the end, makes it way more likely your project is going to be a success.
It's wild, isn't it? We always talk about communication like it's this soft skill, something that's just, nice to have. But this guide, it's like, nope, this is mission critical stuff. It's the foundation, really, for the whole project.
It's so true. And I think what's really cool about it is how it makes you rethink what effective communication really means, especially for projects.
Yeah.
It's not just about giving the best presentations or writing the perfect email.
It's being smart about it. Like, communication is a core part of the project, just as important as the budget or hitting your deadlines.
Right. Recognizing that communication's a constant thing, not a one and done. It takes work, adjusting things based on what you're hearing back, making sure everybody's on the same page, moving together.
This has been seriously eye-opening, and I feel like these principles, they're useful way beyond project management, Understanding people, the right methods, how often you're communicating, that feedback loop.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're just fundamental, whether you're leading a team, working on a project with people, even just trying to have a good conversation at home.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, one last thing for you to think about. How could you use these principles in your own work or even your personal life? What would change if you started thinking about communication, with real purpose? Something to chew on. Until next time, happy communicating.